Hello and welcome to another update video about Gala. Gala is really an interesting one because it is currently consolidating at a really high level. Some other coins look weaker, at least here in the short term. A quick recap, we did rally off the December lows in 5 waves to the upside. Had our ascending wedge on the chart, our ending diagonal, that gave us the signal we would be coming down. It was quite a reliable signal. Hit the first support area, bounced, came down in an expected ABC correction into the expected range. As you know, I tend to expect a wave 2 to reach at least the 50% retracement. That was at 3.92 cents. They can always come a little lower. So the golden ratio here was reached and it turned around at around 3 cents. We had a trend channel on the chart here, which I've taken off now because I don't want to have too many lines on the chart. But yeah, basically it turned around in the expected range. This was the wave 2 that corrected the wave 1 that occurred between December and December and January, basically. So from then we started to rally in what you could consider a third wave to the upside, possibly. At least it's quite likely because we had a 5-wave rally of those March lows as well. 5 waves up, 3 waves down into support, hit the 61.8 retracement, and we've now been rallying to the upside. Now, looking at the shorter time frame, for me it looks like we have only 3 waves, but it's always a matter of interpretation, right? It's always subjective. That's why I tend to use the pivot points, the decision points based on Fibonacci, and this one is basically at the moment we still have a chance to come down in a C wave. That's unfortunately the situation basically everywhere in the crypto market. The problem with the situation that we have at the moment is that typically in a wave 2 you do not see a flat pattern. This here would be a flat pattern. A wave, B wave, C wave. You typically don't see them in a wave 2. Well, you do, it's just not too common. And flat patterns are always very ambiguous. They don't give you a very clear low. They are actually classed as sideways correction. They often happen in a wave 4. But because we consider this a wave 2, it is a bit problematic. It just makes interpretation a little bit easier, difficult, because what you normally expect is a sharp correction in a wave 2 and then an impulsive rally in a third wave. I mean, it did rally, no problem, absolutely no problem. Setups worked out fine, nothing to worry about here. It's just that it's not a crystal clear impulse which has evolved here. And also because in light of what Bitcoin is doing, what Ethereum is doing, I'm still considering this a high B wave, even though we briefly broke above the 1.38 retracement up here at 4.75 cents, but it never sustained above that level, right? It's always break and sustain, unless we talk about really levels of invalidation. But this is, I would call, a soft. I mean, there are hard levels really, like for example, you can't have a wave 2 if it breaks below the beginning of the wave 1. That's for me a very, very clear invalidation, but this is not invalidation if it breaks briefly above it up there. It's just about the rules and the guidelines in Elliott wave. So I'm still, especially if I consider it in, with regards to what the entire market is doing. So there are always, basically on most charts at the moment, there's a potential we make a high B wave. And it's important to understand those key levels, those thresholds. I mean, I'm not even saying that in exceptional circumstances you can even get a high B wave above the 1.38, but that's just what it is. That's the uncertainty we have to deal with. There is no certainty in these markets. It's all about identifying setups, and it's a probabilistic analysis. We deal with probabilities. Now, what you can see here is that we still have only 3 waves up, so it could very well be a B wave still, and the risk is currently still there. We come down in a C wave. However, we're holding on a really, really high level. We are. So I won't rule out that this gets one more rally, and then we have 5 waves up. And if we have 5 waves up, and by the way, these 5 waves up, they get more and more likely the longer we push against the ceiling here, around the 4.76 cent level. So that gets more and more likely to get that additional rally. And then we have 5 waves up, and we can consider it as possibly the first wave of the third wave here. And then we're on the road to 10 cents plus, okay? If we have those 5 waves, I will be able to formulate the next key support areas, the pullback areas, for maybe the next pullback trade. Similar to what we did here. I mean, this was successful, the green one. I always like the idea of scaling in, spreading several buy orders in these areas. Not all get filled, but Sometimes most of them will, sometimes all of them, sometimes maybe even only one, and still, it's all about, in my opinion, not going all in, all out, but sort of scaling. But that's only my strategy. In the end, everybody needs to define their own strategy. And then we had one successful setup here. We had a successful setup here. And actually up there, I made a video and said we are going to come down into the yellow area, at least with a high likelihood, because this is the standard support area for that yellow 1-2 setup. So yeah, we are make a break point here, basically. The thing is, I would expect the C wave to come down into this region, or if we make one more high, then we have 5 waves, and also probabilities will increase that we will come down as well. But that's all in line or in light of the whole strategy here. So basically buying some positions here for everybody who wanted to do it, maybe scaling out a little bit to take some profits, because from time to time a trader needs to pay themselves, him or herself. But then it can always rally further. You know how crypto is, and then just keeping a core position to trade maybe the third wave, take some more profits, scale back into the wave 4, and so on. Basically making life easy, not trying to trade every little wave, and always letting price confirm things, because there might be the odd person who tries to go short here because there are some probabilities that might suggest it will go down. That's pure gambling, because price hasn't confirmed that we are in a C wave. We're just consolidating on a high level and we are in resistance. So we haven't even done anything, right? It's just moving sideways, and it's coming down in 3 waves as well. So I think we are just consolidating here for now. A break below, and let me just double check that, a break below the 4.4 cent level, in my opinion, would make it quite likely that we actually are in a C wave. That would, because this is then a level where I could, at least with a fairly good likelihood, say, okay, if we had a 1-2 here, this might have been the third, here a 4 and a 5. Below the 4.4 cent level, it will be very unlikely that we will still get one more wave up. Then it's more likely that we get down into this region, and that would allow for possibly scaling in again. And yeah, that's sort of my best view at the moment of Gala. Not much more to add. It's the 4.4 cent level that needs to hold for a higher wave, 5 basically to the upside, so we get a complete impulse. And as long as we stay, I would say, below that B wave high here at 5.1 cents, it's likely to come down straight away in a C wave. But if we make one more high, ideally a substantial higher high, then we've got 5 waves up. But even then I would expect it to come down, but then into a different support area. And when the next setup turns up, I will of course inform you here. Hope you liked the update about Gala. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.